Hey everyone, Juliana J. Bolden, Blacktree TV and the Hollywood Post. We're here at the world premiere of Dumbo. It's been more than a half a century since Disney first released this magical story. Now one of Hollywood's greatest filmmakers, Tim Burton, is back with a brand new version starring Colin Farrell, Danny DeVito, and we're talking to them and all the stars of this great film right here.
So how you doing, young gentleman?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. How does it feel to be here like on this carpet with all these big movie stars, including yourself, I'm sure?
Yeah, it feels pretty crazy. It feels really insane to be on the same carpet as Tim Burton. He's my favorite director of all time, so I'm really excited to see him, and it's just mind-blowing that I'm on the same carpet as Tim Burton.
I know. And all these other great actors. So I mean, like, what's some of the movies that? What are you watching these days? What do you like to watch?
I like to watch a lot of actually Tim Burton movies. Like I love Michael Keaton that's in this movie from Beetlejuice as Beetlejuice, and I love Eva Green too from Mrs. Peregrine's. There's so many amazing actors on this carpet that have a lot of movies that I like to watch nowadays too. It's super crazy.
And this is going to be one that people are going to like to watch for years to come, don't you think?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge premiere. It's going to be a huge premiere, like so big.
We know it's huge because you're huge.
Getting there. Don't want to be too over my head. Come on.
Well, nice meeting you, sir, and have a great day. You look very handsome tonight.
Thanks, you too.
All right.
Hello, you guys. How are you? Nice to see you all.
What stands out in your mind about that very first experience working with Tim Burton?
Oh, well, Tim is an artist, and it's really a great thing that he communicates visually, and he tells you what he wants. He knows what he wants, but he does show it to you too. He drew the penguin. He drew me in Big Fish, and now in Dumbo, and in Mars Attacks, and he shows you what he really wants. He's like visual artist. It's really great watching him work. He paints with you. I feel like I'm part of his paint box.
What?
Put a person there, and we do this and run down and do that, and it's all like it's great working with him.
Danny, in that paint.
On Batman with Tim Burton.
Yes.
Were you relieved that it was a CG monkey this time?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think in the movie, if you watch the movie in Dumbo, we really deal with the animals in a good way. We talk about we're all sensitive to the idea that animals shouldn't be kept in cages, and we deal with that in a great way in this movie,
So
I
you
think.
were not harmed in any way by
No,
the
I wasn't
CG?
harmed by a CG monkey. The only thing, like, every once in a while, a special effects guy would put a piece of thing and pull your coat a little bit like that, and you just, run around, wait for the monkey's crawling. You don't see the monkey. I didn't even see the elephant until 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying?
Discovering parts of yourself as an actor, even after all.
Always. Always discovering. Always try to find things. Try to challenge yourself, and
Thank you guys. Thank you.
All right, Finley, we're on the world premiere of the red carpet for Disney's Dumbo. What do you think? What can fans expect to get out of this project?
I think they can expect to see a lot of cool people, because I've seen some of the people down here, but also like to see what it was like, not just in front of the screen, but also the changes off stage and just how people enjoyed it.
And how did you enjoy being a part of a project? I mean, there's so many great movies that a lot of people get opportunities, but you're part of a big Disney classical movie. Like, how does it feel to be a part of that project as a young actor?
So incredible to be a part of something as big as this and be someone as young as me is so lucky, so fortunate. I'm so happy with it.
Best of luck. I hope to see you in a lot more projects.
Flying little one.
Hey, I'm well. How you doing? Hey.
Hey, talk to us about Dumbo and your experience with Tim on the set. And
Well, it was just a great joy to walk onto a film set with Tim Burton. I mean, he's just somebody who is so brilliant, and every cell in his body vibrates with creative energy. And I mean, somebody that can bring something like this to life. The magnitude of it, but also not just the magnitude, the kind of the heart and the emotion that is so much a part of this story is. Yeah, the word gets thrown around, but he truly is a genius. I mean, look, he's got art exhibits, and his pencil sketches when he was 8 still exist and are shown to the general public. So the man is very special.
Is this your first Disney movie?
What's that?
Is this your first Disney movie?
First Disney movie, I did Saving Mr. Banks was a Disney movie as well, but it was more kind of drama for adults, I think, ish, more than this perhaps. Although I hope this is for adults too.
And why should fans be excited to experience Dumbo and Aiken?
Oh, why should they be experienced to sell IMAX now? I have no idea. Look, I suppose I do, and the obvious answer, and it's true, is that it's such a huge canvas, this film. It's such a huge canvas. There's so many details. The moment where the little elephant takes flight for the first time is so beautiful, it really is, that I can only imagine, I'm not going to say they should, but I can only imagine it'd be pretty beautiful to see in that format, you know? I don't know if bigger is always better, but it'd be pretty beautiful to see in that format.
Juliana from Black Tree. Really,
Black Tree, I like that name.
really excited to talk with you.
Thank you.
First of all, I love your get up. You got that. And I'm a huge fan of Game of Thrones, Pirates of the Caribbean, and now you're in this. Talk about how magical the experience was working with Tim Burton and being on the set.
Well, it was magical, like doing those great shows you've started. It was magical being a part of Game of Thrones and Moulin Rouge, and the magic of Tim Burton is that and then some. I mean, his vision, his energy as a director, as an artist, is so infectious. And when I got the call, I couldn't believe it. Well, I didn't actually get the call. I got invited to meet him, and I sat in his office and we were drinking tea. And then at the end of the meeting, he went, "So, would you be in this movie?" I was like, "Are you crazy? You think I'm going to say no? Of course I do." And so I was so excited when he gave me the offer. Yeah, it's great.
As an actor, you seem either these magical situations are gravitating to you or you're gravitating to them. What is it about your training or maybe the circles that you've run in that have you in these larger than life fantasy type of epic features?
I think possibly it's the presence I have, but also I think it's a symbiotic thing. I think what you give out, you get back. So I love that world. I'm someone who, I never went to drama school. I never went to university. I was a high school dropout, but I always believed that I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be an artist, and I knew it was going to happen for me. I just had to work. And I believe that and I think we all have a genius in us. And I think it's always important to believe in yourself. And I've always believed in myself. And I think I've attracted that energy back towards me. So I'm blessed and I'm grateful, but I also have been lucky to have had self-belief, even though I didn't get formally trained.
Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. Okay, well, since we're on the tip of believing in yourself and wonderful things like that, what are some reasons for fans to go out and see this movie, or some takeaways? Because it sounds like your life has a lot in common with the positive messages in Dumbo.
Yeah, it really does. And I think that message that Dumbo has right now is a message that we all need. That message of embracing the difference. You have this elephant with huge ears who's seen to be a freak and an outcast, but suddenly by the end of the movie brings everyone together in a spirit of love. And we're at this time in the world right now where, you know, we're downing on this group of people or that group of people or trans people or whatever. But the very thing that we think makes us different and sets us apart and makes us wrong, that's actually our superpower. And that's what we need to bring the world together, to love each other. We need that, and I think this movie says that.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Congratulations on another great film. We'll be seeing you again in Game of Thrones.
You'll be seeing me again in a show called Sex Education on Netflix. Thank you.
How do you start? Like, what do you use to know that you're going to use the right sounds for this film to score it?
You know, in the beginning when I'm starting, I try to come up with a group of sounds that I think I'm going to use. This movie was unique for me because a year before I started on the movie, I got a call about it from Derek, Tim's, the producer and Tim's right hand, and he asked me if I'd like to do it, and I hung up. And I started thinking about the story. Not having any idea, I never read a script. I had no idea where they were taking it, but I knew that somewhere would be a story of a mother and child being torn apart, and that poor little baby animal. And so I actually came up with a theme, and I wrote it, made a demo, stashed it away, and then I went to work on 2 more movies before I started this one. A year later, I'm back on the movie, and I think, oh, I forgot, I did some little thing a year ago. I wonder if it's Dumbo's theme. So that very first thing, a year before I saw the movie, ended up sticking. So it was all about the feeling, it was just, and the feeling ended up being there. And I thank God, it's still, that part of the story is still very much there.
You're right, because when I'm watching a movie and I didn't know you composed it or scored it, I'm like, I think this is a Danny Elfman. I can tell by the feeling and the sound. Then I see the credits, and it's you.
Well, thank you very much.
That happens
I
a lot.
appreciate it. I
I'm like, I didn't know I know if Tim Burton's involved, there's a good chance you're going to be doing the music.
But not necessarily.
Oh,
so,
9 out of 10? 8 out of 10?
Maybe 17 times out of, 20. So, I don't know what that proportion is.
I went to your last 2, 3 Oingo Boingo Halloween stuff. Any chance of that coming back ever? It's over. That's over.
At the band, yeah. I can never be in a band again really quite the same way. It's like, my ears got pounded too much for those 17 years.
Hey, Eva, talk to us about your experience working with Tim Burton. What was so special that he brought to this story that we all know, but of course he's got his own style of working with you and all the actors?
I mean, the core remains the same. It's a beautiful fairy tale, and you've got this heartbreaking story between, a baby elephant who is separated from his mother, and you've got new characters, but the story remains extremely moving, full of magic and full of heart.
It's so moving that we're even handing out Kleenexes.
The what?
They're handing out Kleenexes to everybody.
Totally. I mean, I saw the movie 2 days ago and I was like crying. The Dumbo is amazing in this. You really feel he's real. His skin, his eyes. It's amazing. You identify with him.
So realistic. Last question. How was it working with VFX situations like this in the film?
It was. I mean, it was very helpful because we had actually very complete sets. We didn't have lots of green screen. It was really, the big challenge was, of course, Dumbo, because unfortunately we didn't have a flying creature. But we had a man in a green suit. So it was nice to interact with something real.